We will continue with the Christmas story. Today's story is called It's Christmas Night. It's Christmas Night by Max Lucado reflects on the transformative power of Christmas. The enchantment of the season briefly unites humanity, reminding us of what truly matters. In these moments, people behold Christ, finding him in acts of kindness, love, and generosity. Lucado ponders the impact if such reverence persisted beyond the holidays, emphasizing the profound potential of everyday connection with the divine. It's Christmas night. The house is quiet. Even the crackle is gone from the fireplace. Warm coals issue a lighthouse glow in the darkened den. Stockings hang empty on the mantel. The tree stands naked in the corner. Christmas cards, tinsel, and memories remind Christmas night of Christmas Day. It's Christmas night. What a day it has been. Spiced tea. Santa Claus. Cranberry sauce. Thank you so much. You shouldn't have. Grandma's on the phone. Knee-deep wrapping paper. Flashing cameras. It's Christmas night. The girls are in bed. Jenna dreams of her talking Big Bird and clutches her new purse. Andrea sleeps in her new Santa pajamas. It's Christmas night. The tree that only yesterday grew from soil made of gifts again grows from the Christmas tree stand. Presents are now possessions. Wrapping paper is bagged and in the dump site. The dishes are washed and leftover turkey awaits next week's sandwiches. It's Christmas night. The last of the carolers appeared on the 10 o'clock news. The last of the apple pie was eaten by my brother-in-law. And the last of the Christmas albums have been stored away, having dutifully performed their annual rendition of chestnuts, white Christmases, and red-nosed reindeer. It's Christmas night. The midnight hour has chimed and I should be asleep, but I'm awake. I'm kept awake by one stunning thought. The world was different this week. It was temporarily transformed. The magical dust of Christmas glittered on the cheeks of humanity ever so briefly, reminding us of what is worth having and what we were intended to be. We forgot our compulsion with winning, and warring. We put away our ladders and ledgers. We hung up our stopwatches and weapons. We stepped off our racetracks and roller coasters and looked outward toward the Star of Bethlehem. It's the season to be jolly because more than at any other time, we think of him. More than in any other season, his name is on our lips. And the result? For a few precious hours, our heavenly yearnings intermesh and we become a chorus. A ragtag chorus of longshoremen. Boston lawyers, illegal immigrants, housewives, and 1,000 other peculiar persons who are banking that Bethlehem's mystery is in reality, a reality. Come and behold him, we sing, stirring even the sleepiest of shepherds and pointing them toward the Christ child. For a few precious hours he is beheld. Christ the Lord. Those who pass the year without seeing him, suddenly see him. People who have been accustomed to using his name in vain, pause to use it in praise. Eyes now free of the blinders of self marvel at his majesty. All of a sudden, he's everywhere. In the grin of the policeman, as he drives his paddy wagon full of presents to the orphanage. In the twinkle in the eyes of the Taiwanese waiter as he tells of his upcoming Christmas trip to see his children. In the emotion of the father who is too thankful to finish the dinner table prayer. He's in the tears of the mother as she welcomes home her son from overseas. He's in the heart of the man who spent Christmas morning on Skid Row, giving away cold bologna sandwiches and warm wishes. And he's in the solemn silence of the crowd of shopping mall shoppers as the elementary school chorus sings away in a manger. Emmanuel, he is with us. God came near. It's Christmas night. In a few hours, the cleanup will begin. Lights will come down, trees will be thrown out. Size 36 will be exchanged for size 40. Eggnog will be on sale for half price. Soon life will be normal again. December's generosity will become January's payments, and the magic will begin to fade. But for the moment, the magic is still in the air. Maybe that's why I'm still awake. I want to savor the Spirit just a bit more. I want to pray that those who beheld him today will look for him next August. And I can't help but linger on one fanciful thought. If he can do so much with such timid prayers lamely offered in December, how much more could he do if we thought of him every day? God will bless you. We will continue with the Christmas story. Today's story is called Keeping Jesus Warm. In 1994, two Americans answered an invitation from the Russian Department of Education to teach morals and ethics based on biblical principles in the public schools. They were invited to teach at prisons, businesses, the fire and police departments, and a large orphanage. About 100 boys and girls who had been abandoned, abused, and left in the care of a government-run program were in the orphanage. They relate the following story in their own words. It was nearing the holiday season, 1994. Time for our orphans to hear, for the first time, the traditional story of Christmas. We told them about Mary and Joseph arriving in Bethlehem. Finding no room in the inn, they went to a stable where the baby Jesus was born, placed in a manger. Throughout the story, the children and orphanage staff sat in amazement as they listened. Some sat on the edges of their stools, trying to grasp every word. Completing the story, we gave the children many things to build their own manger. The orphans were busy assembling their manger as I walked among them to see if they needed any help. All went well until I got to one table where little Misha sat. He looked to be about 6 years old and had finished his project. As I looked at the little boy's manger, I was startled to see not one, but two babies in the manger. Quickly, I called for the translator to ask the lad why there were two babies in the manger. Crossing his arms in front of him and looking at this completed manger scene, the child began to repeat the story very seriously. For such a young boy, who had only heard the Christmas story once, he related the happenings accurately, until he came to the part where Mary put the baby Jesus in the manger. Then Misha started to ad-lib. He made up his own ending to the story, as he said, and when Maria laid the baby in the manger, Jesus looked at me and asked me if I had a place to stay. I told him I have no mama and I have no papa, so I don't have any place to stay. Then Jesus told me I could stay with him. But I told him I couldn't because I didn't have a gift to give, like everybody else did. But I wanted to stay with Jesus so much. So I thought about what I had that maybe I could use for a gift. I thought maybe if I kept him warm, that would be a good gift. So I asked Jesus, if I keep you warm, will that be a good enough gift? And Jesus told me, if you keep me warm, that will be the best gift anybody ever gave me. So I got into the manger. And then Jesus looked at me and he told me I could stay with him for always. As little Misha finished his story, his eyes brimmed full of tears that splashed down his little cheeks. Putting his hand over his face, his head dropped to the table and his shoulders shook as he sobbed and sobbed. The little orphan had found someone who would never abandon or abuse him, someone who would stay with him. Always, that is not what you have in your life, but who you have in your life that counts. God will bless you. We will continue with the Christmas story. Today's story is called Little Donkey That Had Little to Say. It was the night before Christmas when all the beasts came together from the farthest places of the earth to talk. The first voice to be heard was the deep, rich bass of the lion. I speak, he said, as the king of beasts, and truly he looked a king, with his beautiful thick mane and his tawny, rippling muscles. I won't repeat my good deeds. I shall not again tonight repeat the shining stories of the days when the Romans loved me. I shall not recall the story of the one man, Daniel, who defied me in my own den. A story humbling to me, which I have often told you to prove I am not proud. I shall say nothing of my stealthy fury that makes the whole continent tremble at the very sound of my name. Then I shall speak, and by the trumpet sound the beast knew the elephant spoke. I am the biggest beast on earth. My size and my strength, O nations. Yet I can walk so softly and lightly that no ear can hear my coming. Isn't that something to be proud of? And I don't believe any of you can flip a tremendous teak log over your shoulder as handily as I can. That takes power. Yes, and who else here has been a beast of war? Who else has crossed the Alps? You know how very high the Alps are. I and my strong brothers helped the famous General Hannibal and his soldiers over them in one of his great campaigns. And Hannibal's in history books all over the world. A strange whispering voice broke in. You know me, the giraffe. Usually I stay silent, but I hope you remember I'm the tallest and can look down on you. But please don't think I am bragging because I'm up here above you. I eat from the tops of trees. Nobody else here can do that. Besides being the tallest, I can run faster than most. Let me interrupt. It was the leopard's voice. You'd have to move pretty fast to outrun certain striped and spotted cousins of mine who hold most of the speed records. Right, cousins? The tiger nodded his head and the cheetah, fastest of all, smiled. The camel, till now, had been chewing his cud and watching with sad eyes. He cleared his throat and his voice rasped out. I am neither handsome nor fleet. I have some trouble keeping clean. But I have the right to feel as proud as anyone here. I helped build the pyramids of Egypt. Have any of you ever tackled a job that big? I'm also the only animal in the world that can have 2 humps on his back. I am used to going many days without water across scorching sands that would burn the feet off most of you within hours. My friends, the camel counts, and I have a right to feel happy. For a long while after the camel's speech, there was silence. Then the Alama coughed and said, I am by nature modest. One thing, however, I have had much experience crossing mountains. You have heard of the Andes, my home, and the war work I've done. Others spoke too. The goose honked. I laid a golden egg once. Who else has done that? The turtle said, I'm the slowest. It's better. When you're 90 fast, you go round in circles. The fox said, I am the slyest, the trickiest, and probably the brainiest of you all. The zebra said, for confusion, I'm best. Am I black with white stripes or white with black? The grizzly bear said. Who that is as heavy as I can climb a tree as well? And the polar bear said, can anybody but me swim with icebergs or catch fish with a pole? All this time, a little gray beast stood listening. Finally, the other animals looked his way. There wasn't much he could do but speak. I'm a donkey, he began, in a voice so hoarse and low that the beast leaned forward to hear. I can't run fast or go days without water. I couldn't swim a stroke among icebergs. I've never climbed a tree. Nobody is afraid of me. Lower and lower sank the little donkey's voice. His ears drooped and his head was bowed. The other beast could hardly hear him. Suddenly he raised his head. His eyes looked far away in time and space, and there was a strange glow around him. Only one thing I've ever done is stuck in my mind.